This is the Shark Tank, where entrepreneurs seek an investment to start, grow, or save their businesses. If the sharks hear a great idea, they'll invest their own money and fight each other for a deal. But the entrepreneurs must get the full amount they're asking for, or they'll walk away with nothing. Who are the sharks? They're self-made business experts worth billions. Kevin O'Leary is a shrewd venture capitalist who made his fortune by offering mean licensing deals on the Shark Tank. Robert Herschbeck, son of an immigrant factory worker, founded one of the world's nicest businesses and has yet to say a mean thing to anyone in the tank. Lori Grenier, the queen of QVC, as she reminds us each episode. And Mark Cuban, esteemed billionaire tech mogul who we still aren't sure how we convinced to be part of this show. First into the tank is a young entrepreneur seeking a direct foreign investment into their country, Panama.
Hi, Sharks. My name is Juan Carlos Varela, and I am the current president of the beautiful and bountiful Panama. I'm here seeking $1.42 billion for a 3% equity stake in my country. Imagine this, a lush, tropical paradise situated between Colombia and Costa Rica, bordering both the Caribbean Sea and the North Pacific Ocean. Roughly the size of North Carolina, this tropical oasis is home to a wealth of natural resources, including copper, mahogany, shrimp, and hydropower. Plus, our welcoming climate, low crime rate, and ethnic diversity makes us an ideal vacationing and retiring spot. Sharks, we have the fastest growing economy and lowest inflation rate in Latin America. We focus on the service industry, which accounts for about 3/4 of our GDP. We work in logistics, banking, insurance, tourism, and most notably, we are home to the Colón Free Trade Zone and the Panama Canal. We are 95% of the way done with expanding the canal to allow for more ships to pass through, more cargo to be hosted at the Colón Free Trade Zone, and more commerce within our borders. And the very best part, Panama uses the Panamanian balboa, which is directly tied to the US dollar. So the exchange rate will always be 1-to-1. So what do you say, Sharks? Are you ready to invest in one of the most stable and strongest governments in Latin America? Thank you.
Okay, let's talk some numbers here. You want $1.42 billion for 3% equity stake. So you're valuing your country at $47 billion, is that correct?
Yeah, so that's actually the projected GDP for 2015.
And how does this compare to other years?
So that's a 6% increase from last year, which in itself is a 6% increase from the previous year. And in addition, we're also projected to have 6% increases in both 2015 and 2016.
Looking at the graph, you can see that there has been steady growth around 6% since 2014. This is a graph of real GDP. As you can see, it is steadily increasing at about the same rate since about 2005, all the way till 2020. This is a graph of nominal GDP. This is actually how we obtained our valuation of Panama's economy.
Good growth, steady, no extreme dips. All right, what about inflation?
As you can see, inflation has actually slowed down over the past 3 years. We are expecting an inflationary rate of only about 1% for 2015 and hope to keep a comfortable 2% for the next 5 years.
Mr. Wonderful needs more information than GDP to be convinced. You're asking for a lot of money right now, and I'm going to need a stronger pitch. You are doing a very good job right now. Tell me about your imports and exports.
Okay, so we trade primarily with US, Germany, and China. And as you can imagine, having our currency valued the same as the US dollar is excellent for trade. Historically, it is true we have had more imports than exports, but we do expect that to shift next year.
Historically, we've seen fluctuations in the trade balance. Some years we have exports dominating the imports, and other years we have imports dominating the exports. Since about 2013, we've had imports dominating the exports, but we hope to see that change in 2016 and having more exported than we import.
I'm still needing for more information. Feed this shark. What about your government revenue this year?
Well, for 2015,
we're projected to have $10.69 billion in revenue. That includes any taxes, grants, and any additional income that the government receives. Since 2005, we've seen steady rates of increase of government revenue. Our current account balance has also stayed pretty stagnant for the past few years and is projected to stay the same in the future at around -4 to -5%. This shows that we are not incurring any additional debt.
Now, Juan, I love Panama. I really do. My kids and I have gone to vacation there so many times, and it seems like a pretty great place. But I need to ask the tough questions. What are your unemployment rates like?
Robert, first off, thank you. I'm so happy that you enjoy spending time in our country. I know how much you love to have fun. And also, thank you for the question. We're actually down to nearly 4.5% unemployment now, which is down from 10% in 2005. Since 2005, where we had 10% unemployment, Panama has seen steady decline in unemployment. We had slight increases peaking in around 2010 and 2014, but have overall experienced a decline in unemployment.
Mr. Wonderful would like to remind you that you're still missing vital information. What are interest rates like?
Well, that's a really tough question because Panama doesn't have a central bank.
What? Who backs up your bank?
We actually don't have a lender of last resort. And because we don't have a central bank, we also don't have monetary policies that are officially in place. But we find that we don't really need to, since we set our currency equal to the US dollar at all times.
I'm out. I can't do this. The numbers don't add up. Mr. Wonderful can tell a bad deal when he sees one. I'm out. You're dead to me.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But to the Sharks that are still in, let me clarify. We have historically always had expansionary fiscal policy. I, as president, greatly promote corporations having headquarters in our borders. We actually incorporate very low tax rates, currently at around 9%. We do not have a progressive tax system, so companies and wealthy individuals thrive in Panama. We have free trade within our boundaries at the Cologne Free Trade Zone. The Panama Canal is almost complete, which will allow for even more trade and commerce.
I have one more question. Are there any other investors, maybe to let me know that there are other people who have confidence in your country?
Oh yes. We experienced an all-time high investment of $4.6 billion in direct foreign investment, definitely showing that other people are confident in our country.
All right, Juan. I'm willing to make you an offer. As you know, I'm the proud owner of the Dallas Mavericks, so my offer will be contingent on the fact that I can have my own basketball team, the Panama Mavericks, in Panama. I will be offering you $1.42 billion for a 5%.
That is seriously undervaluing our country. I'm sorry, I just cannot accept that offer. Lori, Robert, will you be able to make an offer?
You know, Juan, I like you. I really do. You're really charismatic. I see what you did with Panama, and you're doing a really great job. Great presentation today. And I could definitely put you on QVC. I just don't know how I'd put Panama on QVC. It's just not patentable. I'm sorry, I have to go out. Juan Carlos Varela continues to try to convince the Sharks to invest in his country, Panama. 2 Sharks are out. Lori graciously bowed out when she realized that this was not a marketable product, and Mr. Wonderful got angry when a business plan wasn't perfectly presented to him, and no specialized sample products were handed out. Will Juan be able to convince Mark or Robert to invest?
All right, so as I mentioned, I've been to Panama numerous times. It's a top 10 tourist destination, all right. But the thing is, I've also been there enough that I've traveled outside of those resorts, outside of those tourist hotspots. And your country does have some serious issues with poverty. Your income gap is huge, and your tax system is just making that worse. And I know for a fact that your minimum wage is only 2.47 Balboa an hour. So tell me, why should I invest in a country that doesn't take good care of its residents?
Well, Robert, we're increasing government spending on water, fuel, and electricity.
But we definitely could use the help of a shark to make those programs more effective. In addition to that, we've also recently set up a conditional cash program.
That's similar to our welfare program, right?
Yes, exactly. And it's helping to combat extreme poverty within our country. We're increasing focus on education and infrastructure. We're really creating a new Panama with me as the new president. And we could definitely use any suggestions that sharks could offer.
You know, Juan, I see that Panama isn't without its problems, but you're a great guy. You're charismatic. I see you bringing a lot of great social change to your country. Along with the economic boom that Panama is experiencing, I'll upgrade my offer. $1.42 billion for 4%. And that is if Robert will come in with me. Robert, it seems like you already know a lot about Panama.
Yeah.
I could really use it.
All right. Yeah, I'll take you up on that, Mark. Juan, are you in?
You know, that's more equity than I initially wanted to give up. But for two sharks, it's a deal. I cannot wait to work with you guys. This is going to be a great investment for you both. You're investing in one of the world's fastest growing economies.
Juan was able to get a deal. Both Robert and Kevin brought up the very valid points that Panama has low minimum wage, large income gaps, and no central bank to create monetary policy. Mark and Robert were able to see beyond the societal issues that Panama has had in the past and look at the numbers: steady GDP growth and low inflation rates. Panama offers open markets, making it a haven for corporations. With a new president in place and roughly 5 years of positive trends, it is clear to see why investing in Panama is another great move by the Sharks. Up next, never before seen images of Lori actually on a QVC set,